Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Halloween edition of The Need to Know. It's a show that walks you through all the most important things you need to know from this week's nerdy news. Obviously, the most important thing you need to know is that Stranger Things Season 2 has arrived, and you need to know, is it any good? Does it live up to the hype? So we have a spoiler-free review with some deeper takeaways coming up in just a second. If you're impatient, go ahead and jump to this time that we'll put down here to get right to it. But also just letting you know that later in the show, we're going to fill you in also on other things that you need to know about this week regarding Star Wars, Last Jedi, Walking Dead season premiere, Wonder Woman stuff. There's a Deathstroke movie, Venom stuff, Game of Thrones, lots of stuff.
Oh yeah!
It's all based on the request that you guys send in via the Stardust app. Click the Stardust download link in the description down below, or you can upload your questions and your reactions to your favorite movies and TV shows, and then you can get them featured on this freaking show.
Wow!
Also, you might have noticed a thing that I haven't been acknowledging. We're all wearing our favorite Halloween costumes. These are our favorites.
Yes.
And that's because we're hosting a costume contest. So we've been hosting it all week. At the end of the show, we're going to announce the winners of our New Rockstars costume contest. The top 3 are excellent, and I can't wait for you all to see them.
Ooh.
Hey, Philip, are you the kind of person that when anything's a competition, you just have to go a little bit too fast so you can win
I
it?
promise you I did this in like 10 minutes. Devin? A thumbs up means 10 minutes.
This took me 8 hours to make this costume.
He had to like attack men for parts
All
of the
right.
moustache.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Phil Molina. Eric Voss is taking a well-earned day at the spa, or he might be at the Austin Film Fest. One of those things. But also filling in the rest of the panel today are Sam Basher.
Hello.
Maude Garrett.
Mother of dragons too, thank you.
Also the mother of dragons. Sam was just Sam.
Hello.
And then you
And
might have
Storm.
seen this person
Right.
floating around just outside your house or other shows like this. This is Mr. Tommy Bechtel.
Hi, how are you?
Yay.
I'm not a serial killer.
No, you're the you're the guy.
friend-
But I'm
Friendly
Magnum
neighborhood.
PI, I promise. I'm
Really? Because
Magnum,
it looks like you're hiding out from the CIA.
I'm Magnum PIE.
Definitely.
It's just
Alright.
a different
In
kind
the
of
cartel.
pie.
Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with our top story for all of you guys to weigh in on.
Yes.
Stranger Things, Season 2. To get the ball rolling, here's a little bit of a review from one of our viewers, Pickle C137. I get that reference. And he brings up a very interesting point.
I just finished watching episode 1 of Stranger Things season 2, and it's brilliant. It's got great visuals. It doesn't reset the story, like characters have some sort of PTSD, like Joyce Byers reacting to the phone in that way. I think this was a pretty good first episode, bring me back into the series after sitting there for ages refreshing the page.
Wow.
Oh, that is a good point.
Hot damn.
Can't agree more.
Pickle.
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 Thank you so much, Pickle.
Yay.
All right, that is a very good point because this season is not just about repeating what happened last season. Kind of like I've been gushing about Blade Runner 2049 is exceptional because it asks what are the logical consequences of the original story and what would happen next in that world. That's what Stranger Things Season 2 is doing. So is it good? Obviously, yeah, it's sitting at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, but let's get into why with the panel. What do you all think?
Oh, well, if I may kick it off, I
Sure.
loved it. I've seen the first episode, and everything about the show so far, I forgot. I think the main thing that got me into the show is the music. I am totally a fan of it thus far, and I
That
can't
synth,
wait.
That sweet,
That's
sweet synth.
That's sweet.
bum,
synth.
bum,
Maybe a
bum, bum,
theremin
bum,
in there a
bum,
little bit.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it? Theremin?
Yeah.
It just sounds like you have the worst
Theremin.
lisp.
Theremin, yeah.
Theremin, synth.
Theremin.
That's me, Father Five
There's
synth.
a flow tracks.
But no, the show also improves upon a lot of the show. Like you had mentioned that like it kind of builds upon it in the world, especially with Dustin and Lucas, because they got sidelined a little bit, especially Lucas.
Last season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in last
yeah.
season. Dustin, I mean, he was adorable,
Yeah,
but
he was
that's
cute.
it. Maybe in the final episode he kind of brings everybody together, but you know, I'm excited to see what they do, especially with the introduction of new characters as well, and especially dealing with other side character Barb. That is a
Right.
missing person. We need to deal with that, and it's going to be a big part of the season. Thank God. And there's like there's logic to the government, you know, secret organization that's in this small town. Like we're actually exploring that. There's a lot of
You
really.
mean they're like their conspiracy or whatever? What's
No, the
going
conspiracy.
on?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And that like people are paying attention. This isn't just happening in a little bottle between these in this little family. It's like
Right.
no, this has this like whole world, at least Hawkins repercussions. So excited for future
And
episodes.
what
that's all
you-
stuff that you feel like season 1 was lacking a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So they've been listening to the audience, because that's the good thing about Netflix is that when it comes out in a burst, you get immediate feedback, and then you can straight away start writing and using what you're hearing from into season 2. For me, I like Stranger Things because of the 80s nostalgia. That was always a big play for me, and having like it even having kid protagonists in a group like that is reminiscent of the Goonies, is, you know, it's the Sandlot, all the kids that we grew up on, having that kid vibe, while putting a lot of pop culture references in it and just going a sweet, sweet trip down nostalgia lane. But what I like about season 2 is that they're not making it the big focal point. It's not, it's not all about being stuck in the 80s and zing, zing, how cool is this? I know that, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Riverdale is really getting stuck into that big time where they have to make a pop culture reference like twice a sentence.
Yes.
They feel like they have
I'm a big Dale head.
Is that what they're called?
They are now.
Get over Dalehead.
But in this one, it's kind of like it's the decor. They build the environment so well, but it's not something that they're sticklers about. Like, for example, if you just had David Harbour and Winona Ryder in a scene together, you wouldn't be able to say that it's taken from an 80s movie. That's what I noticed anyway. Maybe Winona's getting a little bit precious about her hair. Who knows? But the last season as well was all about playing Dungeons and Dragons and how, you know, the key enemy or monster in the game was actually in real life. This one, we know that it has something to do with an arcade, or was it just the fact that they were in an arcade? We're not entirely sure. They're just kind of like here and there, little parts, not the focal
You
point.
know, when you bring up the arcade, it makes you think what it is they live in the 80s.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily making references. They just happen to live in the 80s
Yeah.
instead of, you know, it feeling like a wink to the audience every single time. It's just the world they live in.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have thought that the Paul Reiser and the Sean Astin casting were just going to be references. In fact, we even in our breakdown, we didn't know how much Sean Astin was going to be in the show.
Right.
But it looks like one shot based on the trailer. So it's like, oh, is this stunt casting? And it turns out, like, no, this isn't just a reference to aliens and Goonies or whatever. These people are being officially added to that world. It's not just a reference.
And Rudy,
I think
thank you.
the whole, all of the introduction of the new characters so far has been handled really well. I think like Paul Reiser,
really
this
well
character. I'm not mad about Paul Reiser being added, and I don't
another
find
one
it
of the top
Rudy
audience.
that Sean Astin is in
The
there
two
at all.
best properties associated with Sean Astin and Paul Reiser. Mad about you and Rudy.
And Rudy. And then Brett Gelman is playing
Brett Gelman
a
is
private
great.
detective. He's great. And then even the kids, the new kid characters are kind of in that same, like they're believably plugged in instead of just like, oh, they're adding in an 80s trope character. They fit into that world and they match the tone of the already existing performances so well.
Yeah, I'll challenge you on. I don't know that they're all the most perfect fits because Billy is straight out of an '80s karate movie.
Yeah.
like
Billy the Bully?
yeah, Billy the Bully.
But we also don't know
no
anything.
one's named Billy in real. They're just named Billy in movies and Tommy. Like that's not a real name. Yeah.
That is it's my name. But I will say this: my real name is Theodore.
See? Told you.
That's not true. I don't have.
And that mustache is fake too.
Theodore.
No.
What else is there?
No,
about
but,
this
so,
guy?
I think that with Billy, like we don't know all they don't give you a lot about him except for like they kind of emotionally manipulate you how to feel about him so far without spoiling anything.
Yeah, he's gonna rock me like a hurricane. I
I
feel
mean,
that.
Wango Tango is playing when he's driving his car, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, I agree he's very stereotypical in that way, but like we also don't have any idea about this character.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 2 episodes in.
Where are their parents?
Right. Yeah. And what happened? Why are they from
There's-
California?
It
Yeah,
gets a little
and-
more complicated.
But like and the way they handled Bully in the first season with Ben Schwartz Jr.
No.
Yeah, it actually took a turn. It was super interesting. So I'm excited for the Red Ranger getting his getting his due.
I agree.
Yeah, he's the new Red Ranger, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And the Power Ranger. It was like, oh, you got out. You got out of that. You got out.
Oh,
of the,
no way. I didn't
yeah.
know that.
As far as I know, you can correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's who that
it
is.
sounds
He
like that's what you
declined-
call bullies.
He declined
He's
to
the
have an
Red Ranger?
interview with me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. When I was
What was it?
working
How did
at
you
the
ask?
BAFTAs. Literally, my people asked his people.
Oh,
And they
that's what
got
happens.
rejected.
Just gotta grow this mustache real quick. Sorry.
Yes, just sneeze. Achoo, boom.
Theodore.
Where did Tommy go?
Ooh, fresh.
One real quick thing. So again, we're trying to stay as spoiler free as we can right now with this because I know a lot of you guys are still binging. But so not to get ahead of where anyone is, but just as you're watching, maybe realize that there's an interesting thing going on with the structure of the whole season. It's from what I can tell, it's structured like a movie, and I know that's not the most original thing to say, but they actually divided these episodes up into so it's 9 episodes, and then 3, 3, and 3, and you don't tend to get a really perfectly third split up like that, so you get 3 acts, which that 3-act structure is the one that we really respond to with their heroes normally. TV shows tend to have this weird number, 15 episodes. Well, that divides by 3. 14 episodes or whatever.
There you go.
19 episodes.
18 episodes. 21 episodes. 24 episodes. 27 episodes.
But my point is that they're taking a lot of cues from movies, and the biggest, most obvious one, which that I think they're nailing, is a good sequel movie. Is their inspiration. That's why it says the big 2 at the beginning, where they're like, this is a sequel to our hit movie from last year.
And they're doing the thing that makes, kind of, in my opinion, sequels worth making, which is they're going bigger.
Exactly. Well, they're following it further.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to go, otherwise you're just remaking. You're just doing Evil Dead 2, which
Right.
is just a remake of Evil Dead 1.
Terminator 2 is
The better
is
Terminator.
it's better than the first one. Aliens, a lot of people did better than the first one, but also specifically something they do is they take the story in a new direction, but based on the events from the first one, and that's what's happening this season. So I'm super excited.
I mean, look where the
Me
Ice Age
too.
franchise has gone. I mean, now
Better and
they're
bigger.
in space. They're in space. It started
Freddy
in the
versus
Ice Age.
Jason, Ice Age,
Yeah.
Gravity is a sequel to some Sandra Bullock, The Blind Side. So he throws her into
Miss
space.
Congeniality, then The Blind Side, and then Gravity.
He-
Actually,
He's my
Miss Congeniality
son.
and Blindside would work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's not only a love fest. There are some people online that are saying that they're, especially at the
Liars.
beginning.
Yeah.
That I don't
Haters.
love it because they're those people.
Yeah.
I
but
disagree.
they're-
So
you,
far.
you disagree that they don't love it.
Yeah. Their
They
opinion is
secretly
wrong.
love it. They just haven't come out yet as Stranger Things fans. But the one thing that I do I'm interested in, I kind of see what they're saying, is the fact that last season started with a nice strong hook right at the end of that first episode with Will being taken, and that was a strong inciting incident.
And the scientists getting attacked in
Right
the
at the beginning, in the cold open.
Yeah.
So this season of the first episode, I feel like you go to the second episode a little bit more because you're like, it's Stranger Things,
Yeah.
and a little less because it's
What's
like,
the
what's the
hook?
mystery?
Yeah. What I did like about this, though, to come back at you, is for the first, I can't look at you, but in the first
You
season,
can't look at Sam. Don't worry, look over here.
Hey, over there. There's 2 other people over there. Go look over there.
in,
I
Make
won't-
eye
don't look
contact
too
with
far
me,
over
Mom.
there.
in the first season, and we stumble upon 11, and we know that she was in a facility where she was tested on. And the thing is, it's like, of course, if she's numbered 11, there must be others. And straight off the back, our cold open was that we met 8.
You're right.
Spoiler. But not really,
It's
because
the first minute.
It's
the first
opening
minute.
of the show,
Yeah.
so, but that's like, that's going to set up a lot more, because if there's 8, there's got to be other numbers, and then where does 11
like
stand?
17. 19,
You've got this, you've got
18,
this, Tommy.
21, 24, 27, 30, 33.
Good.
It's one of my favorite
Multiples of 3.
tweets. Somebody
Beautiful
tweeted,
mind.
and they were like asking a question of what that means. And I love when you guys ask us, hey, what does it mean when I saw this? It's like, what does her DOB tattoo mean?
Oh.
It's not. It's 008. She's a British intelligence officer.
There you go.
All right. So we're gonna move on, but we are gonna do so much more Stranger Things content coming soon. But there's just so much more to tell you that you need to know this week. Right before we get into the other big news stories, though, we always like to do this. It's a big trivia question. We always like to sprinkle in a quick trivia question at this point. So
Did you have to
thank you
die
for
for
getting
that,
it for me.
Mr. Aquatic?
Ugh,
Did you have to die
do you want
for
some
that
help?
one? I just
No.
wanted people to know who you were.
I'm good.
Willem Dafoe in
can
Life
we-
Aquatic.
Can we pass out the while I read the question, the papers and the pens? Yeah. All right.
Good one job, Sam.
So Eric Voss, RIP, he recently rewatched it. We've got a really cool breakdown coming. Super late because we got super distracted. But he's been identifying all sorts of cool trivia. And the question that he's left for all of us is, in the movie It, what spooky tongue twister phrase does Bill keep repeating to work on his stutter?
I've never seen.
Well,
Any
you've
version
heard of
of
tongue
It.
twisters. You are the mother of dragons. I believe in you. So while we all come up with our
spooky.
answers of what the spooky tongue twister from the movie It is, let's listen to a sneak peek at that breakdown that Eric has coming.
Meanwhile, inside the library, I loved this creepy detail. When Ben flips through the town's history, an old woman in the background stares directly at him, smiling. And each time the camera cuts back to this angle, she appears one step closer. Then when Ben turns around to follow the balloon downstairs, this woman is back looking at the stacks like normal. This woman is another incarnation of It, appearing to Ben at the precise moment he begins to feel afraid.
All right, we're collecting our answers, and as always, the person with the best/closest answer, as decided by our judge this week, it's Devin. They get to do our
Yay.
sign-offs. They say what our names and Twitter handles are, and the loser is gonna have to suck on something.
Whoa.
And stay tuned to figure out what that thing is.
Oh my
It'll
God.
After
happen at the
this.
end of the show. Stay tuned.
I feel like it's a win-win.
I did not tell anyone what the loss is. No, the loser doesn't get. Anyway, in other news, moving on to our in other news section.
I stand by my statement.
Let's quickly
That's
get you
what the
guys.
mo's all about.
We're gonna get you guys caught up on everything else that's important that you need to know about this week. So I'm gonna run through the news. Anyone, feel free to chime in if you have anything. But these are things you have to know if anyone's gonna quiz you at a nerd party.
Heck yeah.
First up, we got a new behind-the-scenes
That's an
featurette for Star Wars Episode 8: The Last Jedi.
Woo!
It's mostly interviews from director Rian Johnson and various cast members, but
Yay.
there are two slightly missable details in there. One is that we see Benicio del Toro's character DJ, who I initially, when I read that, I thought was a DJ. And I was like, that's a space DJ. Disc jockey, alien reference. Anyway, he appears behind Finn, and he's dressed in a First Order uniform. So I think we're getting another secret infiltration plot. I love
Star
that.
Wars? What?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. See, I love those things because I still think of them as using like rebel tactics, and like you have to infiltrate larger things.
I'm the swap it over.
Tell
I'm
me.
still like hooked on the Mara Jade thing.
What about?
Well, it starts off evil, but then they turn good.
So you think that's what's going on with Benicio?
That's
del
what
Toro?
happened with this guy, right? Started off
That's
evil,
true.
but
That's
then
true.
he turned
Yeah, and it
good.
could be. It could
Started
work.
from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah. We've seen DJ in a different look, but you're right. If this is earlier in the movie, then
I'm surprised that no one has facial recognition cameras in this weird
this point,
future.
yeah.
That, like, if
It
you
is
can,
a long, long time ago.
That's true.
you can teleport billions of miles.
they
in a
still
second.
use pulleys and levers on their ships.
They
Like,
do.
it's just how
That
Star Wars
technology.
works. Moving on, there's another one, and it's another shot as those giant, adorable space horses known as fathiers.
Ah.
Bless me, fathier.
I am
by
your
Finn.
father.
Yeah, yours is better because yours is a reference to Star Wars. People just ride them on Canto Bite. But yeah, they're so cute, and I
like
think
a
they're gonna be
goat.
like never-ending story.
Yeah, it's Falcor, right?
Yeah, kind of. There's a better shot from the D23 footage. But yeah, cute horse.
They're
I vote
focusing on the
yes.
animals, though. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, a lot of cute animals
Instead
in
of
this
cute
episode.
robots.
Crystal
I-
Fox on crate. Yeah, because they've been disappointing.
I'm still saying that the porg is a snack for Chewbacca. He's about to eat it.
or for father. Also, another news. Last Sunday was a season 8 premiere of The Walking Dead, drawing the lowest number of viewers for a season premiere.
Yeah.
So we were
Right.
clapping
Wait,
for
any season
since,
premiere?
No, since season 3 of the show.
Since season 4 of Roseanne.
It still had 11.4 million viewers, but that's a 40% drop in its key demographic since
But
season
still
7.
11. Excuse me.
No. Here's the thing. I got an email about it from AMC today that said, by the way, we're still the top show on
Yeah.
the air right
Also,
now.
every year, the amount of content and ways you can view splinters
Yeah.
by like 50%. So, like, from season to season, there's now 19 different ways to watch Walking Dead that you couldn't do last year that you can do on your phone.
Yeah, but I also think, just this is my personal opinion here, I think that there's not as much charge going into the show right now as there used to be. But Eric is still going to get into what did happen that season premiere in the breakdown, so check that out.
40%.
Unless I
And-
replace Eric forever.
All right, so other news this week.
Yeah.
Deathstroke is getting his own movie.
Hey!
Maude, you know Joe Manganiello.
Yeah. he's
Joe
in-
Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Joe
You have Joe Marshmallow?
Joe Marshmallow.
I've actually, you tell the story, but then I'll give you the inside.
Okay, cool, great. So he was attached, obviously, to the Batman, and then all that chaos happened with
Yeah.
Affleck's version of the Batman.
Hello,
And one of the big
darkness,
questions
my
was
friend.
what's going to happen with the Deathstroke story. And most recently, we'd heard, well, they're throwing the whole script out. So does that even mean they keep the same villain? Now they're saying, well, Deathstroke's going to get a movie. It's going to be directed by Gareth Evans, who directed the freaking Raid. So, and we know that this character is perfectly set up for that. Maude, what's the deeper dive?
So, they basically came to Joe Manganiello and they're like, we know that you're a huge fan, you love DC, you love this character a lot, probably not going to see it in Batman anytime soon. So, pitch us a movie. So he along with a couple of others, brainstormed an entire script and wrote up like a plot and the plan for the character of Deathstroke. And then they did a bunch of test shoots, which have already been leaked out. And yeah, the chances are that he's going to have his own standalone movie. Wow. But this is something that he's been championing that the studio nearly walked away from. And he was like, no, I want to be Deathstroke. And I'll tell you why the world needs Deathstroke and why this is important. So he basically championed to have this character.
That's amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I know that because Joe Manganiello is in my Dungeons and Dragons group every Sunday night.
I want to hug him. He seems like a great hugger.
Oh my gosh, when he first walked in, I was like, hello. And he's just so wide and so tall. And
that's just his abs.
Yeah, that was just an ab.
But Gareth Evans, if I may say really quick, he has you can go to Netflix right now if you're in America, VHS 2, multiple directors make little horror shorts for those. Gareth Evans did one, and it's absolutely amazing. It's about a cult. Recommend it. That boy right there. I'm very excited. This is the way he directs action is mind-blowing. So awesome.
I mean, The Raid is worth watching just for action, not really anything else.
No, I don't really know what's happening, but yeah.
He
Raid
looks
1
like
and 2.
the coolest Sam Tarley of all time. It's like if Sam Tarley went through a rebellious period, you know?
No, I'm excited.
You can't use that as your catchphrase.
I can't? Bazinga. Is that also taken?
No, you gotta do
Hey.
Magnum.
Man, you're about to get magnumed is not something anyone should say.
Not in Hollywood.
I'm on fire. Dracarys.
That's nice. That's better.
There you go.
Boat sounds.
That's what I was doing. In other news, the Venom movie began production this week. The movie's Twitter account tweeted this so detail-packed behind-the-scenes photo captioned, "Day 1. Careful, there are so many spoilers here. I'm being terribly sarcastic."
Wait a minute. The pots and pans. What does that mean?
They're cooking up a storm.
Yeah, you can see Tom Hardy on the right there. He's obviously playing Venom or Eddie Brock. Riz Ahmed's in this. Michelle Williams is in this. Reed Scott. It's going to be rated R, and it's going to feature Venom against Carnage, which is a pretty interesting story, actually. A lot of people wondering how they did this without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent way. But my real question is, what the hell's happening to this guy's face?
Yeah, no, it's...
No, he's the secret. You
time.
can't see what he is.
Is that the ghost? Is that
Maybe
Sandman
that's
again?
Carnage.
Oh,
Man.
Sandman.
Anyway, sandwich.
I'm excited for the movie. It's going to be weird, and it's the director from Zombieland.
I'm excited to see a Spider-Man movie, not with Spider-Man. Like, you're in the universe, and so we're having characters that we know and love, but in such a new setting. I think this could be the Dark Knight version of Spider-Man side of things.
Interesting.
Or is it just because we've got a recurring, like Tom Hardy? You put Tom Hardy in any
Yeah, it
superhero
becomes Dark
movie,
Knight
it's like,
something.
whoa.
Yeah. We also learned this week from Logan director James Mangold. He's doing a Logan spin-off following X-23. He said that the success of Wonder Woman actually made it so that there's less of a fear of having a female protagonist, which is amazing. So
It's not a risk anymore. Women aren't risks.
And they're also open to exploring a new genre that's appropriate for X-23 because obviously Logan was a Western. So just interesting to see
And you
where
could
it goes
involve
there.
all the kids that they had in there, like Richter. He can like control the ground and everything. And it was super violent, so I kind of hope they stick with that if they were to do an X-23 movie.
But also have the kids.
also have
Do
the
you
kids.
want
There you go.
kids or do you want them a little older?
No, that's what I was going to ask. Do you think that the main actress who played, I think it was Daphne Keane, I think that's her name. I could be wrong though, but whoever played X-23 and Logan, would you guys want her in?
She
Absolutely.
was fantastic.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
want to see him older.
Yeah.
I want to get the X-Men movie that we always wanted.
Plus, you've already ruined one child's life by exposing them to that kind of violence. So, like, they might as well just keep her on that course rather than like put another child in those shoes.
Like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Good job, Fox. I'm excited.
And then we also got some news on Daredevil season 3 on Netflix. Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back as Kingpin again, which
Baby
is amazing. One of
Man.
the best villains on the Netflix
Yes.
shows. One of. I'm saying Kilgrave is the best.
I can't stand Vincent D'Onofrio.
Really?
Did you watch
Kilgrave.
season 2?
No, because I couldn't get
Oh,
through
he has
season
he has
one.
a better. I would say he has a better.
Did he
arc.
reel it in
It's
a little
him
bit?
versus Punisher. It's pretty great.
Okay.
And his arc is just a little more interesting to me.
Because I noticed that
Yeah.
when he talks, he would just like try to do so many things in the one sentence. And it's like, come on, man, what is the word you're trying to say?
He's fighting to get the
Yeah.
words out.
He's farting to get the words out.
He makes a consistent breakfast every morning, and for that alone, I admire him. So let's move on.
You don't have much any more to say there.
Baby
I'll
Man.
be back.
Just pointing out also that the showrunner now is going to be different. It's going to be the guy who does The Man in the High Castle, which is kind of
Also
interesting.
worked on Arrow.
And then I wasn't going to mention that one because he worked on Arrow season 3 when it started to not get so.
So
Yeah,
it makes
that's
sense
when I
because he
went
did
to.
the third season of that. Now he's doing the third season of this. Easy.
Oh, he's the
Easy.
season killer.
Yeah, there you go.
He
Yeah.
does things in 3 or 6 or 9.
No,
or 12 or
you know the
15,
Babadook
or
hates
18,
triplets.
or 21 or 24.
27.
30.
All right, you guys are show-offs. But speaking of numbers, it's time for the By the Numbers segment.
Yay!
Yeah. So we're all caught up on everything else.
This one's just a little bit of research that's been doing around this time of year because obviously, you freak out when you have a Halloween coming and you're like, what am I going to wear? But what am I going to wear that is easy and hot right now? Or if you're like me, what am I going to wear that that isn't what everyone else is going to wear? So we're going to tell you the top most Googled costumes that are out for 2017.
Wow.
Can you guess, though, with
Oh.
that looking?
Yes.
Well, last year, remember, it was Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Like bad.
Wonder Woman.
That's your number one.
I was
Uh,
saying-
See what I mean?
Pennywise.
Oh, I was say Pennywise definitely.
And the third.
Is,
What was a big one? What was a big movie?
Magnum P.I.
Dwayne Johnson from Baywatch.
I consider doing that. And I don't have that.
One
body.
person can pull off that look, and that's Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw out Dustin from Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids were doing
Oh, no,
that.
11. 11's still a big
11
one.
still in there?
11 is still in
I
there.
think
Because
maybe
11
11
is
more.
easy.
Oh, 11.
Anybody else have any out there guesses?
Willem
Trying to think,
Dafoe
what
from
cool-
Steve Zissou?
No, no one in their right mind would ever. Oh.
Aha.
The actor Willem Dafoe.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be, think of the huge
Oh my
movie.
gosh, I can kind of do it.
Pennywise, it's going to be
Really
Pennywise
good.
by a landslide. Wonder Woman's going to be huge.
No, Wonder Woman's first for sure. I think Harley Quinn's still on there.
I think Harley Quinn probably still
All
survives.
right, let's reveal it.
Sexy Cat is 4.
Boom, Wonder Woman topping it out.
Yay.
48%
Whoa.
of
Wow.
people looking for costumes are looking for Wonder Woman costumes.
It clown.
Yeah. And then 12% want to be Harley Quinn, and 10% want to be a different clown. We think it, but it's hard when it is just a pronoun. So it's like,
Oh, you can just look up it. Yeah.
because it could also refer to the Joker. Honestly, a lot of people are
Uh-huh.
looking at
Yeah.
that.
Well, if Harley Quinn's there, then the Joker's there. It's a good couple
Potentially.
costume. Yeah.
But I want to know what this other costume is that I missed out on. 'cause
yeah.
That's
It's the
30%.
others. Isn't that
The
Everything
Nicole
else.
Kidman
Yeah.
thriller.
Yeah.
The
So
others.
if 4 people are in a room, there would only be one that isn't on the list.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So one of us.
Wow.
So
Wow.
let's talk a little bit of what we all actually plan to be on actual Halloween. I don't know if these are exact costumes. This is just something I just happened to come in today. And but
Just
are you
happened
guys
to.
gonna do one of those 4?
I mean,
I kind of considered Wonder Woman. Honestly.
like, Wonder Woman's pretty cool. That would have been. Pennywise would also be pretty fun, like having fun with the makeup.
New Pennywise or old Pennywise?
New Pennywise.
okay.
I don't find the old one that scary. The new one is pretty terrifying.
I'm not. You're. No,
Is this scary?
no. I'm not a clown person anymore. Never had a problem with them.
You
until
were
recently.
once a clown person.
You were a huge clown person.
sad clown.
Juggalo, you think?
Juggalo.
Whoop whoop.
I'm going to be someone that I've impersonated so much that I figured I should finally dedicate an entire night in costume to. Laura Dern from Jurassic Park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let's
And I'm
see.
going to do the run. A limp,
The limp run.
I'm gonna limp
I
on
like
in,
that.
screaming, telling everyone to run.
Yeah, that's
I'm
why I
waiting.
just run.
Is she dragging a flashlight behind her? You gonna
She
do
is.
that
It's
too?
wrapped around her. Ah, that's
Nah,
why
shit.
you're here.
Mm.
Good.
I like that as a reference. Your thing has you running away from a conversation that you're in. Like, what are you? Wait 1 second.
yeah. Bye.
You're
Anyway.
like, someone help her? Sam, what are you gonna be?
Well, right now I'm this. This is it. This is what we're
Sam's
getting.
buying a Switch. We're not going to see him for 3 weeks.
No, you're not. No, I'm actually doing it with a friend. We have the same costume, but
Ew,
we could.
Sam, TMI.
No, we're Willem Dafoe's character that we just learned.
Jeez, Rafon.
Oh, Klaus Daumier, whatever.
Daumier.
From Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and the only thing missing from my costume is I have a
It was
Steve
Zissou.
Zissou patch.
Okay, well, we said this differently. Is it not Sisu?
No, it's in the
Steve
movie.
Zissou?
In the movie, he
Zissou?
says Steve Zissou.
It's Sisu.
Wes,
See the-
you here? Oh, he's not here.
Let's just agree to agree.
Yeah.
There, yay!
Yeah.
Tommy, what other?
Well,
hits
my religion
shows?
forbids celebrating Halloween, so.
Okay, so the days around Halloween. what do you do?
I think I'm going to be John Candy's character from National Lampoon's Vacation, the security guard at Wally World. I like that one. I might also be Hodor, Just because I have that one.
So
standby.
you were asleep in 1988 and you woke up in 2015.
Yeah, I like people to know that I'm definitely old. Like, I don't want anyone to think that I might be a young person.
Which is a risk.
Yeah, so I'll be taking my 19-year-old son out trick-or-treating. And, maybe I just won't dress up. Maybe I'll just be myself. Sometimes
good
that's
dad.
the bravest costume is your own skin.
Or someone else's. All right, time for Pitch Me.
Pitch me.
Yay!
So as we mentioned earlier, there's a spin-off for Logan coming following X-23 with Laura Kinney. It's in the works. But there are also a bunch of other X properties because Fox is trying to milk the X-Men universe now that it's doing okay. There's a Dark Phoenix movie coming. There's also New Mutants who are seeing the trailer for Deadpool 2, which is going to have Cable in it. And then there's also a second season of Legion.
Yay.
To FX, which is great. And then there's still that poor Gambit solo, Channing Tatum.
No, he left it, didn't he?
No,
it's
it's been
back on
confirmed.
with a
2019
director.
release. They got it. They're doing it.
No. Hold your breath. But what I want for you guys to each pitch me is your ideal X-Men spin-off movie, and I'm going to speak a little slowly so that you guys have time to think.
No, I got one.
It's got to feature a mutant who has not yet had a solo film, and we need to know what their story is, who the villain would be, and if you can, who would star in it too.
Okay, I didn't get that far, did I?
So, you bit off more than you could chew, but let's go for it.
Says the guy who
Mon-
literally has a mouth for a face.
I could chew a lot. Go ahead and pitch me.
I just like the 90s cartoons that I love so much. I loved Rogue and Gambit in those. And then when I saw the first X-Men movies that came out, the Rogue was nothing like I knew her, and I felt almost betrayed. So I want to see Rogue
That southern twang was in there.
Oh, she was so sassy. She was so fun. And like, she just was epic. And I think it got, totally sidetracked with Anna Paquin's kind of girl next door vibe. She's not a girl next door. She's never been a girl next door. She's been a kick-ass girl. So I want to see Rogue done right, which could then swallow the Gambit solo movie, and then they could be paired up and go together. So it'd be really cool if you had like a Gambit Rogue love story, and then have some sort of like evil version. I mean, the only thing I've ever really seen in the movies is that weird dysfunctional relationship between Magneto and Mystique. But having like another kind of couple thing going where they have the amazing powers, just one you want to use it for helping and one want to use it for hurting. That's usually the basis of good and evil. But see that kind of go up against
Those
each other.
touch-based
I'm watching a
powers.
lot of CW, I've realized.
Yeah, welcome to the Riverheads.
I do.
Different every time.
You changed
The Dale
You can be a Dale gal, and
That's great.
I like that idea. I don't mean this in a negative way. I wonder. It almost feels like there's like a Twilight kind of thing there or something coming to mind of
That's
like.
that
well, now
CW
I'm
thing
even
I've
more
got.
on board.
Yeah, that's the CW side. I guess I'm saying. In
Yeah.
Dare to go
The relationship
there.
thing, but that beautiful chemistry
Dare
that
to
they
And you get some
have.
cast-
Dare to
in there?
defy is what it is. That
A
dare-
proper.
Missed that song.
What is it? I would be happy to hear people
Casting?
help me fan cast a really good Rogue.
Oof, that's rough.
Southern gal.
Well, I don't actually care that she actually be Southern. Right now, this is because of how Rogue looked when I fell in love with her. I'm thinking the entire cast of Glow
Yes.
from Netflix. I'm
With
like,
the
yes.
hair.
I'm like, one
Yeah.
of them could a bodysuit with a jacket. I see it.
What about Adrienne Palicki? I know she's in S.H.I.E.L.D. though. Agents of
She
S.H.I.E.L.D.
can. Oh no,
Yeah.
she's not anymore. Now she's over at
Wow.
Orville. Yeah,
she almost
should.
had her own show and then she didn't.
Now, yeah, they can
She
that.
would be great. She's got that level of sass that I'm after.
I'd actually like to
She's-
see her kind of succeed more. I would
Yeah.
like. I could.
Dude,
I
Friday
could
Night
see
Lights. She had it.
Yeah.
A little younger is what I would want out of it, just because I don't see Rogue as like a mature woman.
No.
She kind of is, especially early on. She defines herself by relationships a bit. But yeah.
There you go. That's mine.
Interesting.
I got one.
Go ahead. Tell me.
yeah.
Pitch me.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. Oh boy.
I like how I'm getting the sense that's a joke that he's thanking us for having me.
No. So my idea, as it forms in my head,
You didn't
is
have to go.
two characters that have already been seen in X-Men films, but would be recast and reimagined. It would be a kind of a True Detective meets the Marvel Universe crime thriller between Bobby Drake, Iceman, who has to go and solve the murder of his friend who has turned against him, Pyro. St. John Eldice or Eldace or I forget Ellardace, I think.
Adeche.
Yeah, Dijonais. So he at the beginning of the movie opens with Pyro has been murdered, and Bobby Drake cannot use the X-Men to solve this murder because they won't support him because, you know, he's in the Brotherhood and he's not a good guy. So he has to go rogue, no pun intended, and solve this murder. And along that lines, assuming that Gambit doesn't go, we have maybe it could be somewhere in the swamp. It could take place in the South, and Gambit could maybe come in as a side character, a cameo character, maybe a tie-in character. And I don't know about a villain yet, but I would think maybe like an authentically evil Sabretooth, not a pro wrestler, not Liev Schreiber being so charming that you can't get mad at him, like a real good bad guy being Sabretooth.
Who's not Wolverine's brother.
Right, because Sabretooth murders people in the comics like with zero remorse. So like this would be, and he might be a red herring like murderer of Pyro, but he would at least be a nemesis throughout the film, like getting in the way. Maybe he's also trying to solve the case. Maybe he actually cares about Pyro, and it leads them together to face a bigger evil, which of course would be the Blob.
Bring him back
He
around.
needs some more
I
airtime.
could see Hemsworth being
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
One of the Hemsworths.
Liam needs his
Nancy.
win.
Nancy
The
Hemsworth.
the one Hemsworth that just we don't know what happened to on Westworld. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we like.
he actually would be good, though.
Yeah, he would be great because he's like the stouter. He's the most stout of them Hemsworths.
Hemsworth boys.
Now,
Down to the crops.
that character is the first was like openly an accepted gay character, if I'm not mistaken, in the Marvel
Sure.
universe. Could that be
Bobby, yeah,
yeah.
Iceman.
Newer,
Yes,
yeah,
Iceman.
yeah.
Newer, not first.
Well, I think
newer.
that would add definitely an even richer layer
In the
if perhaps he
investigation?
loved Pyro, and that's why he felt so compelled to
That's what
solve
I'm
it. Like, I
thinking.
mean, whether it's a friendship or a romantic love or just something from his heart.
Their love
When
was
ice meets-
icy hot.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
ice meets
Oh,
fire, it only
fire and
sizzles.
ice.
I just remember that Jean Grey just outs him because she's a psychic.
In the comics,
Yeah,
he's
she's just
she's like, oh my god, you're gay.
She goes, Bobby,
like, what?
you're
No,
gay.
Like,
and
what?
then
She's
she
like, holy
laughs.
shit.
Yeah.
See, that's how I used to try and prove I was psychic. I would just go around and say that to people,
Yeah.
and it was horribly offensive. No one liked it. I would just go like, "Oh my God, you're gay," and they go, "How did you know that?" And I'd be like, "I'm an X-Man." It didn't go over well. I was asked to leave school several times. Anyway, so that's my pitch. I guess I'm asking for $50,000 for 33% of this idea.
Moz people will get back to Joe Manganiello's people.
There you go. All right. So I think to get people in seats, maybe use a character that they already know, like Nightcrawler or Kitty Pryde. I think they'd sell pretty well.
Nightcrawler.
Also, Kitty Pryde is like Rogue is one of their premier like female X-Men. Also, Storm. I don't know what story you do with Storms personally.
boring.
A little. She's interesting when she interacts with Black Panther. That's really fun, or like some of the other Avengers. But I personally don't know any good Storm stories. Anyways, Nightcrawler could be really interesting if you get into his roots when he was being like people were being like racist to him. They tried to torture him, and he was in a covenant for a long time. And it's a messed up origin story. Could be really interesting. People like darker stories. Kitty Pryde, you could have like a coming of age story because people love that in Spider-Man. Get your X-Men version of that with Kitty Pryde before she goes off to Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. But personally, I think you should do Phantom X. And Phantom X is a character that has like 3 brains in his body and he can cast illusions, but he does heists. And a heist movie could be really interesting because he teams up with X-Men all the time. So you could throw in Nightcrawler into that movie, and it could be a team up between Phantom X and Nightcrawler.
And Kitty Pryde. Who
And
would
Kitty
you
Pryde.
take to a
And Kitty
bank
Pryde,
heist?
exactly.
Are
You
kidding
can do
me?
like
Kitty Pryde, walk through
teleporting.
walls.
Exactly. I think Phantom X would be the coolest one. Also, as soon as that costume comes out, you'd be like, oh, God, crap. That's like, I want to be him for
Oh,
Halloween.
yeah.
He
Is he the
wears
brains behind the operation?
He wears like a white
Plural?
suit. Oh,
Because he's got 3 brains.
he's got 3 brains.
Yes.
But he's got a great suit. And he's got a mask. Everything. He uses a gun. He's like kind of like James Bond, but he's got powers. And he could team up with other X-Men. And you could see a couple other fun villains in there as well. That's
You know
my
those
pitch.
bank heist movies where you actually want them to get away with it?
Yeah.
Because you get so much of a backstory and like
Right.
you realize why they're doing it. They're not actually bad. That could be cool.
And Phantom X is French, so you can get an accent in there.
Wow.
You want the accent? You want Rogue to be Southern? You get.
Well, I like my
Yeah.
Cajun accents too.
Those are our pitch me's. I'll say it real quick. I'm not going to do a full one. I'm just going to say I think it'd be cool if they took kind of, it doesn't have to be the exact Scarlet Witch version of the storyline, but essentially a psychic is threatening all other mutants, and all the psychics have to like fight each other. And it's specific to psychic storyline.
Cut to
And
a
you
room
throw
and everyone's
in-
like,
Yeah, basically.
Just
Psychic fight.
Psychic fight.
Miss Cleo's there.
Yeah,
Dionne Warwick's
don't tell Eric.
there.
Eric has
John
a Miss Cleo
Edwards is
impression for
there.
some reason. 11 is there.
That's great.
All right, and then up next we have these are questions from you guys that none of us have seen. Actually, we call it the lightning round.
Whoa.
Yeah. So these are literally, I'm pulling them up right now for the first time.
Do you need a hand? You all good?
No, I've got plenty of hand.
Whoa.
So let's see what people want to know. So get ready to catch these.
Okay.
I don't know what that one means. Sam,
Yes.
what's an indie comic that would make a great movie or show?
A
Or
saga.
movie franchise?
Saga. Easy peasy. Yeah.
The person said or saga. Wink.
Wink.
Wow.
So yeah, Saga is the right answer on that. Read Saga, catch up on Saga. Saga would be a great show.
Yeah, it would be.
Honestly,
I
like,
think
I
like
would
an
love to do
HBO.
Yeah.
They have the money for that.
Yeah.
And Giant Days.
Maude, out of everyone that shows up on New Rockstars on camera, including Thomas, is it Theodore?
So sorry.
And Eric, Foss, everyone, who'd be most likely to survive the longest in the Game of Thrones universe?
Ooh.
You would.
Why?
Dude, it doesn't stop.
Oh, I would just hide.
The mind keeps going.
What about second longest? Sam's dead.
Not
Sam
Sam.
just died here on our
I choked.
Not Sam.
I get a splinter
Me!
and die.
Me, I would.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Killing
Because
people.
I've killed someone.
Maude.
What?
This goes out to just the cops directly.
This is a
Lucky
live stream to
I'm
the
Daenerys
LAPD.
Oh, there
Targaryen
you go.
Stormborn,
Oh,
just
Daenerys
in
has
character.
killed.
I've
Gotcha.
killed so many. Thank you. That's
Tommy, what good movies don't get enough praise as much as they should?
Oh man, Rudy for one.
Movies that came out after 2010.
Okay. I really. Oh shoot, man, this hurts. I liked Kick-Ass, the first Kick-Ass. I feel like that movie was considered a bomb, even though they made a sequel. I really liked it. Let's see what else. I like that movie Fury, that tank movie with Brad Pitt. Like, I feel like everyone hated it. They were like, that movie's so slow. I was like, yeah, that was the point. It was supposed to be like suspenseful. And I really love Dunkirk. I don't know if that movie got
loved
its due,
Dunkirk.
but I thought that movie
Dunkirk
made me.
kind of came and went in a way that is unfortunate.
It made me hold my breath for like 87 minutes. And I
Yes.
liked that it was short. Like, there was no need for it to be. It was a Christopher Nolan movie, but it was like how he would do a short story.
Lightning round.
Yes.
Sam, who should play Cable?
Josh Brolin's doing it right now,
Who
but
else
Ron
apparently?
Perlman, 100%,
No.
always.
No.
Ron Perlman, just poke out his eye. He'll be great.
McSteamy.
Who's that one?
Maude,
The one with the
what's
big
the
smile.
most scared you've ever been from a TV show or movie?
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I'm all of them all the time. The most scared I've been?
Yeah, which
Ever.
one got you the worst?
Pretty freaking scared. Oh, which one got me the worst?
Yeah.
I tried to watch Candyman when I was 15.
Ooh, Candyman, the
Yes.
bees.
Yeah.
Ava fell in love with that movie. That's
I don't
porn
like
to her.
that.
We know
Really?
someone who's very into bees. And
watch
finally,
horror.
Tommy.
Yes.
I don't even know what these mean.
Conjuring.
I didn't pre-select this for you. This is from at Speeds Wizard UK. Custard creams or jammy Dodgers?
What? Come on. That's not fair.
It's literally the next one.
You know what? You cut me off earlier. Everybody knows
That's the lightning.
it's peanut butter cups. Go f yourself.
That was lightning round.
Yeah, just kidding. Jammy toddlers are my favorite.
You're a mustache man who just said jammy toddlers are his favorite. That's Tommy Bechtold. You can reach him in
Never
prison.
again. You can reach me nowhere.
Wow.
Because I'm a
You're supposed to
ghost.
be the creepiest person here. No,
I did not think that at all.
What? Was that not the question? What were the choices?
All right, real quick, we got to do our first ever costume contest winners. Yeah.
How are you, new rock stars? How's Eric's rash?
I'm so excited to reveal these to you guys. We got a lot of entries, but the judges and gods have spoken, and these are our top three that for one reason or another really stood out. So if you guys are one of these three and you won, make sure to tweet at us at New Rockstars and let us know, hey, that's me that you're featuring in my sweet costume. And we'll give you your sweet cash money toward Fandango so you can go see the amazing movies that are coming out in the next few months. But seriously, as you guys can tell, I take costumes way too seriously. And so I'm really impressed with what you guys have done. Thank you guys so much. These are amazing. Let's give it up for them. Yay!
Pow, 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 pow.
Hey, bing, bing, bing.
So up next, we're just going to talk about real quick what we have in the pipeline. These are the videos that are going to be coming out next week on New Rockstars. We've got Stranger Things full season breakdown. We are binging as fast as we can to get everything we can.
Sick.
We have an It breakdown that's a little late, but
yeah.
it's 30 things that we think people missed and watching it the first 1 or 10 times. Our Walking Dead episode 2 for the season breakdown. Thor Ragnarok's post-credit scene where we explain what's going on there. We have a Thor Ragnarok breakdown coming out. We have
not even out
probably
yet.
more Thor Ragnarok stuff coming. We know a lot about it, and we will know a lot about. Anyway, you will know a lot about it too if you've watched those videos that come out. Flash, Sam is going to have that for
episode
you.
4. Very excited about that. Make sure you tune in and check out all the other breakdowns I got.
Love the Flash.
Yeah, catch up on those, and then another Need to Know, and then we're going to be at Tommy's bail hearing.
I was going to say also there's going to be a 40-minute tearful apology from me for all of my comments on this show. So tune in for that. That'll be
man.
it'll be the 3 things you missed that are criminal admissions by me.
I don't know if you know how timely this is. So
How did you know I was gay?
I'm psychic.
one of the one thing.
I'm
you
an
say it to enough
X-Man.
people. All right, so it's time for our trivia answer. Normally we do our trivia answer. What's Sam doing? He's cheating. I'm kidding. Normally our trivia answer comes a little later in the show, but there's a very specific punishment that I said, and so it's appropriate that we do a slightly
Nothing's
little bit
appropriate about
earlier. Do we have scissors, by the way? Can we grab those?
Skeesaurus.
Oh, they're back there. Okay, I got them. So the trivia question that we asked earlier, can you hand that question over?
Yeah.
And then can you pass the answers out to someone who's not the person that wrote it? So
Oh.
just anyone who did not write that one, give it to them.
All right.
The question again was, in the movie It, what spooky tongue twister phrase does Bill repeat to work on his stutter? So the correct answer is, he thrusts his fists against the posts and still insists he sees the ghosts.
Ooh,
the spooky
yikes.
part, of course, is posts.
Wow.
Facebook and Twitter, just mean
Yikes.
places.
Yeah,
So,
I'm-
Tommy, what did...
I got Filup,
all right.
and his was, I am not a fig tucker. The tucker of figs person isn't me. I will tuck figs until time to tuck in, and the fig tucker arrives.
What is that? I've never
Why?
heard anything
What-
like that.
What is
I'm
that?
pretty... I thought that was it.
No.
yeah.
Wait,
I
where
don't-
did that come from?
Why? I feel like I'm being set up. Is this
When's the last
is this
time
a
you tucked
prank
a
video?
fig? I don't even like figs.
You're
Sam-
definitely going to jail.
I am not a fig tucker. The tucker of figs person isn't me. I will tuck figs until time to tuck in, and the fig tucker arrives. Not a rhyme or anything. Doesn't make any
I
coherent
shouldn't have
sense.
made the last word arrives. it just doesn't
It should have been
end appropriately.
comes. I don't know what was. Your...
I have mods. Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Gross. All
I
right.
just thought of a tongue twister.
Not a
I've never
bad
seen any of the
guess.
movies. Sam said loose lips sinks ships.
Ah, he almost got you on that one too.
No, he didn't.
All right, and Tommy said, "Eerie Eric Voss eats electric eels at 11 o'clock." Not too
That
hard.
Eric.
So
Yeah.
Devin, who was the closest?
How's this hard?
Maud.
Wait, hers?
Maud's is the closest. What was
To
hers?
winning?
She sells. She
Oi.
sells. It didn't mess me up.
Sally
All right,
sells
and who's the
seashells
furthest?
by the seashore.
No.
Ah, yes, I agree. I agree.
All right.
You can
well,
tuck
big
some
tuck.
figs.
we gotta pause while we get the thing I gotta suck on. Okay, we got that. All right.
Ah,
Rest
yeah.
of the show, your host has to suck on this.
You need your hands, man. Well,
Hold on. Pull this up.
Whee.
No, it's fine.
Oh my God, I just jumped a mile. It's like,
man, I want to do that.
Now it's time for the 15-second shout-out section. All right, so each of us has 15 seconds to rant and rave about the one thing that we want everyone to know about. But we're going to do a special Halloween edition. So it's 15 seconds about a movie or scary thing that people can do this weekend, a scary movie people can watch this weekend.
Ooh, I'm the worst.
Go check out Train to Busan on Netflix. Also, if you're in the LA area, go to Not Scary Farm. They have a maze called Tooth Fairy, and it's about kids getting kidnapped and having their teeth ripped out. It's amazing.
ah.
It's amazing.
You go, because you just sucked.
Nope, but it's this is just my normal voice.
Oh dear.
Oh, boy.
I want to give a shout out to all the people that hate Halloween and horror and are scared of everything like me. So just build a fort and sit under it and don't watch any horror movies. And just to be really spiteful, maybe every time some kid comes to your door and says trick or treat, say trick.
Yeah.
Like risk,
And just
live a
kick
little.
'em off the porch.
Live a little. Just say trick.
Yeah,
See what
so
happens.
Hide under your fort and then antagonize the local children.
That's how you be Maude. Right there.
Something terrible will happen to you. So it is scary. That's great. Tommy, what do you got?
Okay, so if you're brave, unlike me, watch The Evil Dead. That's a super scary movie. If you're a chicken like me, Little Monsters is on Netflix. So check out Little Monsters and be just kind of scared even as an adult.
Which
Howie
version
Mandel.
of Evil Dead?
The original OG Evil Dead 1 where the girl goes, "We're gonna get you. Come back in the house." It was terrible. When I was a little boy, it really scared me anyway. Have fun, everybody.
Great. And then I'll just say, It Follows. Guys, if you haven't seen It Follows, you have to see it. Here's a Stardust for me talking about why It Follows is so damn good.
Make sure you see It Follows. Even if you've seen it before, watch it again. It is just so good. It encapsulates so many other horror movies inside of it. John Carpenter's Halloween is omnipresent throughout the whole thing. The original It is referenced a lot. And on top of that, it packs in so many themes and interesting images that are relevant to teens, like eating disorders and pill dependencies and cutting yourself. And sexually transmitted diseases are obviously a huge part of it, but it's amazing. It's so good. Go watch.
Yeah. So
Great job. That was awesome. What a great Stardust.
I like that I said you should watch it because it talks about STDs.
Yay!
What a great detail. All right, so who won? You won. You want to let everyone know what they need to know?
Yes, hi, my name is Maude Garrett, Maudegarrett. That's all you need to know because these fools, they gotta go. That's all I'm doing. That's what
Wow.
happens when I win.
That was
Thank
fresh.
you. I mean, you can check the others out, I guess,
Fresh to death.
but Maude Garrett. Go to subscribe to Geek Bum.
Wow.
Femo Tom
You
Sam.
made my voice drop.
Babadook.
Real quick, I just want to remind everybody to get on Stardust using our download link in the description below. Post your reactions to film stuff. Tag us in them at New Rockstars, and we will feature them in next week's Need to Know, like you saw in this episode, actually. And next week, we're going to do a big Thor episode. We'll have seen Thor by then. So we'd love to see your reactions or your, even more specific, your questions about the movie that you have. Questions for us, just send them to us all via Stardust. Comment down below, tweet us at New Rockstars using the hashtag Need to Know. Like this video, share it around so that people watch this show, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more deep dives. Big thanks to all our hosts. Maude, do you not want any of us to say our names? So-
Seriously, you can. I had my moment and I feel really good about it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna hand the baton back. Yeah.
Gotcha. So Sam, if you have anything.
At Sam Basher, go listen to my podcast, Only Stupid Answers.
Great. Tommy, where can we find you?
In jail. At Tommy Bechtold. Tommy Bechtold.
Bechtold you
Bechtold.
I
Yeah.
bet told you 1,000 times.
Then Maude again at
At
Geek
Maude
Bomb.
Garrett. At Maude Garrett. At Maude Garrett. Where there's some geek bum.
Awesome. And I'm Filup. Hit me up at Fimo on Twitter. Otherwise, you'll see me here next time, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye guys.
My voice didn't change at all.
Bye-bye.
All right.
People are gonna think you're a kid.
That's not good for
Mustache
anybody.
is gone.
Oh, no. I made a wish on that genie.
All right. See ya.
We did it.
I'm keeping this mug.
Bye, guys.